Network Entertainment.
Isang paalala, ang susunod na kabanata ay naglalaman ng mga salita at pahayag na maaaring magdulot ng takot, pangamba at pagkabahala sa mga nakikinig, lalo na sa mas nakababatang gulang. Huwag magpatuloy kung kinakailangan. Magandang gabi sa inyong lahat. Ako si Earl, ang inyong pong Camp Master. At ito ang Philippine Campfire Stories. Tuloy po kayo sa ika-74 na gabi ng San Telmo Society. Kumusta ka na? Sana'y napapakinggan mo ang episode na ito sa maayos na kalagayan. We are back to San Telmo Society season. And I know na marami akong utang na mga stories na hindi ko nababasa na pinapadala ninyo in the past few months. We just had some creators and artists on the show to talk about their projects because Pinoy Comics is actually a very dear platform para sa akin. Doon ako kumukuha ng mga inspirasyon, ng mga kwento na gusto ko ring basahin at gusto ko ring i-consume whenever I have free time. So that's why we had to make way for After Campfire. And I hope nakapulot kayo ng mga magagandang content doon sa mga nagdaang episodes of After Campfire. Kung di nyo pa napanood yon, I really suggest na pakinggan nyo kasi marami tayong mga magagaling na mga artists na nagkwento tungkol sa kanilang mga projects, tungkol sa mga kwentong tungkol sa aswang, tungkol sa mambabarang, tungkol sa mga manananggal, yung mga kwentong gustong-gusto din nating napapakinggan dito sa San Telmo Society. With that out of the way, punta na tayo sa unang kwento ngayong gabi. Actually, scratch that. Iisa lang ang storyteller natin for tonight. It's the camper by the name of Giselle. She sent me 2 emails tungkol sa kanyang mga stories na nag-originate sa bahay nila at sa mga sumunod pa nilang mga naging tirahan. Kaya naman, pakinggan natin ang kanyang kwento and hopefully mag-enjoy ka. Let's listen to the first part of her email.
Hi Earl! I recently stumbled upon your podcast since I listen to horror stories and true crime podcast while driving and habang nasa office.
I got inspired by the stories of Anton and Manila to share my stories as well sa family house namin, though not as intense sa bahay nila Anton. So a little background on our family home. It is located in Quezon City. And it was built, I think, 1990 to 1991. My dad is a civil engineer, and this is our first family home. By the time our family home was completed, my mom was pregnant with me. So it is safe to say that the house is as old as me. I will try to tell my stories in chronological order as much as I can. My first experience happened when I was 7 years old, when my mom just died of breast cancer. She has been struggling with this disease for 7 years as well. She was diagnosed after I was born. We all know naman as 90s kids, we have this mandatory afternoon siesta. So what my mom would do, lalo na in her last years, na mahina na siya, and she can't call me out loud anymore, was she would make this super loud sutsot to call me psst. Psst. Kasi I would always watch TV in the sala at the first floor, and she would always be resting in the master bedroom at the second floor. Since my kuyas are in school, the eldest in first year college and the second is in second year high school. Yes, ganun kalaki yung age gap. It was just me and my yaya watching in the sala. Then,
I heard the familiar sutsot of my mama. Psst. Psst.
I paused kasi I know that she just passed away. So, who would be calling me? Pero dahil bata tayo at matapang tayo, umakyat ako to the master bedroom to see if my mom was there. But no one was there. So I went back down sa sala and my yaya asked me, bakit ako umakyat suddenly? And I said na,
tinawag ako ni mama.
Sadly, I can't remember the expression on her face. Ever since then, our helpers would always say they hear footsteps on the second floor or furniture being dragged around. Pero when they got up to see,
wala naman silang nakikita.
And this became a recurrent phenomenon in our house. One time, I'm just not sure if it was my mom's birthday or death anniversary na pumatak on a weekday. We had school and my work si Papa, so we decided to go to the cemetery on the weekend. Me and our helper were listening to music. I think I was making my homework. High school na ako by that time. Then, we heard footsteps on the second floor. Na-sure naman kaming walang tao kasi kaming dalawa lang sa bahay that time. Nagtinginan na lang kami to make sure that we are hearing the same thing. Then we tried to laugh it off. I guess I was never afraid whenever I feel different in the house kasi I would just think na it's my mom na nagpaparamdam. I don't have a third eye, but I can say I'm sensitive. Yung sometimes you feel this sudden goosebumps when you are in a room na 1,000 times ka nang namang nandun pero ngayon mo lang na-feel. After my mom died kasi, kung ano-anong extension ang pinapagawa ng papa ko sa bahay. On the left side of our house, nagpagawa siya ng den where we have a guest room, billiards table, karaoke, his gym equipment, drum set and guitars. Para daw, imbes na kami ang tumambay sa bahay ng friends, kami daw yung maging tambayan. Then, on the right side of the house, nagpagawa siya ng office, mga studio type rooms for rent, and a rooftop for table tennis, badminton, and basketball court. So, magulo yung layout ng bahay due to these extensions. When I was in college, since we only have one PC for sharing sa bahay na lagi pang nagdodota ang kuya ko, then my eldest kuya had his own PC at magkalaro sila sometimes. When I need to use the PC, doon ako sa office namin sa right wing extension ng bahay. Joke lang sa right wing na extension. Then, minsan, I would see
na may dumadaan na nakaputi sa window.
Outside the window kasi, walkway siya para makapunta dun sa mga studio type rooms for rent on the second floor. Di ako natatakot kasi alam ko na meron kaming mag-ina na nagre-rent and yung daughter niya is nag-aaral sa UST ng MedTech. Since UST din ako, alam ko na yung College of Science, yung mga courses nila are all wearing white uniforms. Naulit pa yon maybe 2 or 3 times na andun ako sa office. Then on my peripheral vision, may nakikita akong taong dumadaan sa window na nakaputi na di naman ako natatakot kasi nga sa isip ko baka yung daughter ng tenant namin. Then after ilang months, I discovered na nasa first floor pala yung mag-ina. No one was renting on the second floor. So sino yung nakikita ko? Buti na lang, after a few months, kinuha namin ng lola ko to live with us and dun sila niyang caretaker niya sa one of the rooms in the second floor. Another kwento with this white lady was when I was in second year high school, nagpalipat ako ng room from the second floor to the first floor since bigger room siya. Old office kasi ni Papa and on the condition na I won't sleep there at night since nasa first floor. Pag pinasok na magnanakaw yung room na yon, ako agad yung makikita. So ayun, naglilipat ako ng gamit and clothes so medyo pagod na at humiga muna ako sa bed. Yung layout ng room is yung bed, nakatapat niya yung cabinet na full mirror. Tapos yung mirror nakatapat sa pinto na katabi ng bed. So kapag nakahiga ka sa bed, kita mo yung sarili mo na nakahiga and yung door kasi magkatabi yun.
Split second, may nakita kong dumaan na white lady.
Long hair, white dress until her arms. Na naglakad papunta sa maid's room na katabi ng room ko. Naka-side view siya so hindi ko na makita yung face. Natulala ako and when I regained my senses, umalis ako ng room. I learned about this white lady in the back of our house when one of my yayas fell sick. Ang kwento is, nagsasampay daw si Yaya sa rooftop. Then sumilip siya doon sa likod ng bahay namin. Yung likod kasi ng bahay namin is malaking property. Yung half may bahay and yung other half is parang gubat na siya dahil sa tall grass and trees. Ang chismis ay pagmamay-ari daw yon ng old Chinese couple na kilala ng parents ko. When they died, hindi magkasundo yung mga siblings if ibebenta or i-retain yung property. Nirenovate yung old house pero hindi ginalaw yung half na parang forest na nga. Before, may daan sa bahay namin papunta dun sa house sa likod. May small door, then stairs pababa kasi nakakapunta ako dun nung bata pa ako to play. Mabait naman kasi yung caretaker and yung old Chinese couple na yun from what I remember. Pero nung namatay na nga sila, ipinasara na rin ni Papa yung maliit na daan since di naman kami na nagpupunta dun. Going back to the story, pagsilip daw ng helper namin, ay may nakita siyang white lady by the tree na nakatingin sa kanya. Then na yun, nagkasakit siya at pinatawas. Sabi ng faith healer, naiingit daw sa kanila yung white lady kasi sila buhay pa. And lagi daw yung nagpupunta sa room nila. Ang ginawa yata is pinasunog yung papel na may drawing niya at nag-alay ng dasal. Gumaling naman yung yaya namin after that.
More kwento about this white lady sa part 2 ng email ko. More kwento to share pa.
Ayan, Giselle. First of all, thank you sa pagsusulat mo ng kwento mo. I can see how you were intrigued by Anton and Manila's episode kasi tungkol din pala sa childhood home ninyo mga stories mo. I was drafting this episode at night and my window was still open. But when I read the part when Yaya saw the white lady by the tree full of envy to the living, I was like, sarado ko nga muna yung blinds tsaka yung curtains tapos buksan ko muna pala yung mga ilaw. Tapos mag-practice na lang ako ng Salamin by Beanie. Takot ako eh. Thank you, Giselle. Tigil muna tayo sa kwentuhan. Magbabalik pa tayo for the part 2 ng email ni Giselle. That and more coming up next. Sa pagbabalik ng St. Elmo Society ng Philippine Campfire Stories. Hi Earl! Ito na nga ang part 2. Like I said in my previous email, medyo nasanay na lang din talaga ako sa mga nararamdaman ko sa bahay namin. Medyo may gulat factor lang minsan. When I was still in law school and I would study until 1 or 2 a.m. kasi nga wooden yung second floor namin so minsan may naririnig akong naglalakad sa likod. At mafe-feel mo pa rin talaga yung presence na parang may taong dumaan. Lumilingon naman ako kasi minsan yung papa ko pag nagigising sa madaling araw, chine-check niya ako sa room ko. Pupunta niya ako sa study area so thinking na baka si papa yon, lilingon naman ako. Pero walang tao. Natatakot ako pero mas nakakatakot yung mga terror professor ko so I shrug it off and back to study na lang. So balik tayo kay white lady. Never ko siya na-encounter ulit after nung nakwento ko.
Pero si husband ang naging favorite person niya.
So nung hindi pa kami married ni husband, he would always go to our house, lalo na yung studying pa ako in law school and he was working in a call center. So punta lang siya sa house, then most of the time we buy food, then he would sleep while I study. Every time he would sleep sa sala, he would always have nightmares about the white lady na sinasakal siya. Thinking na baka sa sala lang yun, he would sometimes sleep in my room. Kaso, ganun pa rin. He would have nightmares. Kahit saan pa siya matulog sa part ng bahay namin, he would always have the same nightmare na sinasakal siya ng white lady. May one time na we were sleeping, kaso nagising na ako so bumangon na ako and did something outside the room. Nung nagising siya, tinatanong niya ako if natulog ako ulit beside him. Sabi ko hindi. I would tease him na ayaw sa kanya ng mama ko kaya lagi siyang minumulto. Ever since we got married and moved to our own place, hindi naman din niya napanaginipan yung white lady. Thankfully, hindi naman yata sumama sa amin. So from our family house in Quezon City, we go to our rest house in Cainta na laging binabaha. Personally, wala akong experience sa bahay na to kasi very rare naman na nandito kami. Lalo na ngayon, parang 2 to 3 times a year na lang ako nakapunta dito. So based lang ito sa mga kwento ng mga helpers namin noon. Before, we would have 2 helpers na nakatao dito. Kaso, di sila nakakatagal. They would call us crying. Minsan may pag-threaten pa na tatalo na lang daw sila sa balcony. So ang structure ng rest house is pool and dirty kitchen on the ground floor, sala and dining kitchen, and 1 bedroom sa second floor, and rooftop on the third floor. Our helpers would say na sometimes they would hear someone or something jump to the pool. Pero madalas kong naririnig ay yung lalaking nakabarong na naka-army cut na madalas magpakita lalo na sa stairs going to the rooftop. May one time pa na nakwento ng kapitbahay namin that they saw their deceased loved one sa balcony ng bahay namin na tapat ng bahay nila. Pati pala multo nangangapit bahay sa amin.
May heavy feeling sa bahay na ito, as if minsan feel mo may nakatingin sa'yo pero
never naman ako nakakita ng anything. From Cainta, mag-travel naman tayo to our rest house in Laguna. So the background of this house is my mother inherited a mango farm from her parents. After she passed away, my father bought the other property sa tabi, then nagpatayo siya ng rest house sa Burol na never ko namang napuntahan. Sabi ng mga gumagawa doon, nagstay sila sa isang kubo. They would hear sut-sut daw sa gabi. Kaya when they need to pee in the wee hours of the night, they would wake each other para buddy-buddy system. Meron kaming bukal sa property namin na sabi ng mga tiga doon ay meron daw nagpapakitang mga engkantada. The last part of this email would be my experience lang last year sa bahay namin na also happens to be in Quezon City. I was maybe 5 or 6 months pregnant at that time. And after dinner, ang usual routine namin is my husband would play Valorant until maybe 11 p.m. And I would just browse on my phone or watch something in Netflix. I used to play with him kaso nung lumaki na yung tiyan ko, nahirapan na ako sa computer table ko and tumataas na rin yung BP ko sa game. This happened maybe around 10 p.m. As I was just browsing on my phone, I heard a kaliskos coming from the window. Yung bed namin is may katabi na malaking windows na may screen and may mga bawang. Utos yun ng mother-in-law ko since she found out that I was pregnant na maglagay ng bawang on all windows. Malakas yung kaliskos, like parang may cat and mouse na naghahabulan sa bubong pero nanggagaling sa window yung tunog. Para din siyang tunog ng big wings flapping. We have blackout curtains so wala akong nakikita. Hindi rin naman ako nagkalakas ng loob sumilip. Naisip ko yung tik-tik or yung aswang kaso naisip ko nasa city naman kami. Hindi naman to probinsya so tinapaangan ko na lang yung sarili ko. 30 minutes din akong natatakot kasi andun pa rin yung tunog o yung commotion na naririnig ko sa labas. Pero nagpapaka-strong independent woman tayo eh. Then finally, after ko manganak, nung naging member na ako ng mga mommy groups sa Facebook, apparently, bali-balitang meron ngang tik-tik or aswang dito sa city based sa mga kwentuhan ng mga mommy sa isang post. Merong nakaka-experience sa Makati, sa Pasig, as well sa Diliman area in Quezon City. Paano kaya sila nakakapunta sa bahay ng mga buntis? Nag-Google Maps kaya sila or nag-Waze? Grab or angkas? Hanggang dito na lang muna mga kwento ko, Campmaster. Giselle. Hi Giselle, congrats sa baby mong survivor ng aswang hunt. Nax. And thanks for sharing your treasured stories. Una, ang dami mong bahay. Gusto mo ba akong bigyan? Okay. Okay lang kahit may mga freebie na mga hindi nakikitang kasama. But seriously, you know what I think of these subtle and very passive kinds of horror stories? I think mas nakakatakot siya. Yung very core group mo lang yung mga nakaka-experience nito and it's in your very personal spaces. Yun yata yung truest form of horror. Yung hindi mo talaga alam kung nangyari ba or nababaliw ka na ba. Ganun. Wala na akong mai-add pa dito sa stories mo and I thoroughly enjoy giving you this platform to share your wonderful scary stories. Thank you, Giselle.
Napakarami nating messages na nakuha from the listeners about the recent episodes of the podcast.
Kaya naman we'll be doing a little bit of a segment called The Camper Shoutouts. Ayan. Ito ay galing sa episode 192 sa Seki Horror episode ni Yvette Tan. Sabi ni Granziel, the production on this episode is chef's kiss. Particularly since I'm listening via my headphones. Kaya damang-dama. More Yvette Tan please, if possible. Sabi naman ni Jenny, I really love your voice, DM. There's something about how you narrate your stories. It's really captivating. I can't find the right words to describe it actually. Tanong lang po, ikaw ba yung nag-dub sa mga characters? And sabi naman ni Jenny in a bottle of the, sabi niya sa same episode, this is a masterpiece, CM. Sana mas marami pang ganito. May bago na akong favorite episode mo po. Sa first part pa lang yung iniiba-iba mo yung boses mo. The range. Podcasters, YouTubers, Disney. Wow, Disney. Keep up. Next. And lastly, sabi niya, sa same episode, we had like 30 messages dun sa episode na yun, but I just picked this ones because they all say the same and I don't wanna like, take too much time. Sabi ni Nikitita Ray, my jaw drop as I listened to the last part. Oh my God, ang galing, ang ganda, Campmaster. Para akong nanonood ng sepia film. Galing ng pasok ng background theme music in between each chapter. Yan. Yeah, maraming salamat sa mga nagbigay ng good job, mga mga papuri at mga magagandang salita sa ating episode 192. That was actually a very experimental episode for me to do because syempre voice acting siya and hindi naman ako voice actor, but in my head that's how they sounded, the characters. So I tried to modulate and emulate a voice na tingin ko ay manggagaling sa character na binabasa ko. So, and I'm glad you liked it. So yeah, thank you guys. Episode 185, True Horror Stories ni Stephen at ni Cersei. Sabi ni Jenny, CM, please wag mo nang lagyan ng sound effects. Kinalibutan ako sa humming mo. Buti na lang nasa duty ako nung pinakinggan ko to kasi usually madaling araw ko pinapakinggan ng episode ng podcast mo. Ayan. Thank you, Jenny. Wala namang humming doon. Anong naririnig mo? Baka ikaw lang yun. Joke lang. Episode 193 sa stories ni Irvs. Ito, medyo anonymous. Sabi niya, I'm sure si Kuya sa pagkakwento niya, hindi ako kumbinse. Lalo na yung sa party with Tick Balang. Yung detalye pinag-iisipan niya pa. Parang hindi niya alam ang mga nangyayari. Matthew Quevedo Constantino, sabi niya, grabe, kinilibutan ako sa episode na to. Huling kinilibutan ako ay sa kwento nila Anton and Manila. Sabi naman ni Amy Roche, Campoid, ngayon lang ako kinilibutan ng todo sa episode na ito. Dapat talaga may kaangkas ka sa motor while traveling at night. Yeah. Totoo naman, medyo. Yung the way magkwento lang ni Irvs ay syempre kakaiba kasi syempre that's his personal way of conversing to another person. So, kung hindi mo nagustuhan, baka ano lang yun, personal preferences. So, pero nakakatakot pa rin naman yung kwento niya. That's why I invited him. Yan. Pero, to be honest with you guys, kaya mas pinipili ko na lang na ako na yung mag-narrate kasi kapag merong nagkukwento sa atin na live or like we record together, nababash So, nahiya naman ako, pinapupunta ako sa show natin tapos binabash ng mga tao. So, ako na lang i-bash nyo. Wag na sila. Yun, joke lang. Episode 163, sabi sa story ni JM and Naomi. Sabi ni Kit Kat, ako naman ang pagkwentuhin mo next time, Campmaster. Sige ba? Kung gusto mong kwento at ready ka, kung merong mga negative comments na papasok, game, email ka lang. Episode 194, Sa stories naman ni X, sabi ni Bianca Fernandez, listening from Chicago. Ayan, nakarating pa sa Chicago yung kwento ni X. So, and X, nasa Chicago yung kwento mo. And hello kay Bianca Fernandez. Hello sa'yo. And I guess that's it for camper shoutouts. If you have thoughts about the episode, go ahead and share that sa Spotify Q&A section natin. Or just send me a DM at babasahin natin yan sa mga susunod na episodes.
See you sa next shoutout.
Dito na po nagtatapos ang ating kwento. Pagkatapos ng episode na ito, pwede kang sumali sa kwentuhan by going to the Spotify Q&A portion ng episode na ito. Doon, nagsishare ang mga kasama nating campers ng kani-kanilang mga thoughts about sa episode. Just remember to be kind whenever you share your thoughts dahil ang podcast na ito ay mananatiling safe space for everyone. Kung gusto mo namang suportahan ng show by giving me monetary tips, you can do that by joining our Patreon and Coffee. Yan yung mga sites kung saan naglalagay ako ng mga extra content for the podcast listeners when I can. For our campers in the Philippines and abroad, if feeling mo ay good job ang podcast, lalo na yung mga nagsabing good job tayo sa episode ni Yvette Tan, you can always share monetary tips via PayPal. Wala na kasi akong GCash. Nagsara yung GCash account ko. Parang ayaw nila akong magkaroon ng access sa GCash. So just PayPal, look for earlm.work@gmail.com. At yung link naman ay nasa episode show notes. Doon tayo mag-usap. At panghuli, kung may kwento ka naman na gusto mong ibahagi sa ating camp, ay pwede mong isend yan sa campfirestoriesph@gmail.com. At babasahin natin yan sa mga susunod na episodes ng San Telmo Society. Muli, maraming salamat sa iyong pakikinig. Magkita tayong muli sa susunod na kwento. Ako si Earl at ito ang San Telmo Society segment ng Philippine Campfire Stories.
This podcast may be based on true events with names, characters, and incidents that are either products of the creator's imagination or used fictitiously. Any similarity to real individuals or events is coincidental.